What's up, guys? How's it going? How's everyone doing this morning? Good to hear, good to hear. So, another slowish open so far. Obviously, we have Himini doing their reverse split. And, man, they're just ridiculous, these people. And excuse me, having some allergies going on, but... So here goes CVSI. We've got it breaking over its previous highs now. Like I was saying a couple days ago, good catalyst, and this doesn't surprise me at all. John made 600 buying the dip yesterday. Nice. I was contemplating it, but I just didn't do it. I already cut my BTSC this morning. I probably didn't have to. I don't see it like going back down to 6 cents. Get into some charts here. Here's CVSI pushing, making new highs. Really doesn't surprise me, like I said. Plus, let's see here. They announced record second quarter sales. So they have multiple catalysts working for them now. I'm a little bummed I didn't buy it on day one and hold it, but it's okay. BTSC on all the Bitcoin stocks are gapping down this morning. 1 second, sorry. Not really surprising to me. It's hard to these charts are pretty beaten down now. Bitcoin topped out at like 8,400 yesterday, and now it's sitting at 8,200. So as long as it holds 8,000, they should be okay. But that's the risk, you know. If Bitcoin doesn't gap up by pre-market, chances are that most of these stocks will go down. Riot's down, BTSC's down, pretty much all the Bitcoin stocks, but they're not getting crushed. But they weren't up a lot, and they're not going to be down a lot. So far, slow morning. Got to have to adjust to these market conditions. Sorry, 1 second. So top gainer so far this morning, CRMD. In terms of listed stocks, probably not going to move all that much, even with good news. No real play for me here. Let me see here. Yeah, David. So, I mean, it may be next week. It may be the week after. It may be tomorrow. Maybe today sometime there's some kind of PR that gets a stock running real good. It's just a matter of being super patient and not forcing things. Let's kind of go through my broad scan, and I'll kind of show you what I'm doing here. Himini, we obviously know it's a dog. It's a reverse split. So we'll see what happens here. I'm not going to play it today. CRMD, probably not going to play it today. OASM, big float. No, I don't see a catalyst, not going to play it today. V-Ray, bigger float, probably not, a little higher price, probably not going to play it. SMSI, medium-sized float, probably not going to play it. CODX, says there's some news here. Received CE mark for tuberculosis test kit. So I have seen that move stocks in the past, but in this climate, probably not. But I will keep an eye on it. CE mark, that's like the European, it's like a European patent kind of thing, I think. CHFS, Department of Veteran Affairs awards 6.5 million blanket purchase agreement to CHF Solutions. Okay, so that's kind of interesting, I guess. We'll pull CHFS up, see what we got going on. It's not up a whole ton. It was up almost to $2 pre-market. And $2 is pretty important here. You know, it's been struggling with 2 for a while now. So I'll kind of keep an eye on this, maybe for some sort of multi-day breakout here, back towards the mid 2s or something like that. But for right now, the volume's not there, and the price action isn't there, so not really much for me. CHFS for now. CVSI. Yeah, I mean, CVSI at this point, I'm just trying to get in on a dip if I get a good enough dip, I guess. It's not the most volatile stock in the world, you know. It doesn't make huge moves, so you get a 10, 20 cent dip, that's all I'd be looking for to kind of start a position on this. If I were to start in, you know, 270s, like, it would be very, very small size. Looking to get some more, maybe in the 250s if it were to drop back down there, which I doubt it will. Excuse my allergies. A little sniffly this morning. It's annoying. So yeah, if you guys don't see much to trade, that's because there's not much to trade right now. And that's okay, you know? It's really not a big deal. It's just part of the game. I will be keeping an eye on Himini only because it's going to be heavily shorted today. Like, anyone getting borrows on Himini is probably going to be shorting it. Yeah, I'm probably not going to touch this thing. I mean, they've got some toxic dilution going on, you know, I mean, and then just constant dilution. Reminds me a lot of dries. Tops and DCIX, so. That being said, it will be a crowded short. So, never say never, but I don't feel great about it actually making any move here in the future. Let's see. So really the only stock I see that has maybe a chance of moving to the upside today other than CVSI would be something like CHFS. But yeah, I just Just not 100% sure what to do with it. I don't, in this and with these market conditions, probably not. If this were a couple weeks ago, this thing would probably be popping pretty hard right now. So it does have a catalyst. The chart is setting up for kind of a breakout here at the 192 level. So this is, this is something I will keep an eye on. It does have some room to run here if it does break. But I just don't know. It's just one of those slow day, guys. So we can start firing some questions. It'll be another short webinar this morning, especially consider what's going on. But I'm going to have to, I got to go pick up my son here in a little bit when he wakes up at like 8. David asked, is CODX not a double bottom, or do you not consider it because it's under VWAP? Okay. So just because a stock's under VWAP doesn't mean I'm not considering it. There is kind of a double bottom of sorts, but first of all, CODX, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, maybe if this base is a little bit longer, but there's definitely a double bottom of sorts here. No doubt about it. Like I said, in a different market, maybe I'd consider buying this and being able to risk here at like 375. But just the way things have been going, we've been getting a lot of the pre-market. There's been a lot of gap and craps, like just a lot of them. So I'm not going to be too aggressive trying to buy double bottoms or any kind of gapper that doesn't have some follow through. Here's one making a move. TORC, it's a little bit higher price, but it is up a lot. Wow. This thing hit 27 pre-market on positive phase 2 news. And my scan has a $15 limit, so the reason it just hit my scan is because it just dropped below 15 bucks. That's funny. So here's one I'll be keeping an eye on. It's a little bit higher priced, but I'll throw it up only because maybe, there's not too much moving down in our realm right now. But I'm not too comfortable in that price range. It's not like my favorite price range to be trading. So let's see here. Gonna keep an eye on CHFS. Really slow. Really slow. Like I said, that's perfectly fine, The key is just to know it, scale back size, especially to the long side, scale back that trigger finger to get into trades, Give me 1 sec, guys. Any questions, just fire him. But I just have to run to the restroom, sorry. All right, back. So CHFS did get a little pop in. Pretty toppy here in the 180s. But we'll see if it can kind of make some higher lows and grind up. I just don't see much. Just don't see much today. Just don't see much. So another day like today, it's about sitting on your hands again, waiting for something to set up, maybe some kind of news midday or something like that. But for now, it's a tough market. It's a tough market to go long in, and that's all right. Like I've said in the past, everything's cyclical. So when stuff's not running, you got to really dial it back, which is the mode I've been in. I mean, I've only placed one trade. That's BTSC. I lost $200 on that this morning. No big deal. CVSI was basically the play of the week in my eyes. Probably the highest odds long setup was CVSI this week, but so CHFS, I don't see too much hope for it with these market conditions. 190 is kind of the level you got to watch. But most likely, maybe we get a double bottom here at 170, and then maybe it grinds up all day or something like that. But just not too much for me there. So reward-wise right now, if it were to get back to 190, I mean, you're looking at 15 cents, 13 cents of reward if it were to get stuff there. Risk, you can risk, one low a day, which would be 168, 10 cents risk, just not good enough. Not good enough for me. Different market conditions, this thing rips, on news. So, but that's not the case. So we're only going to do another 15 minutes or so this morning with the market the way it is. It'll be pretty boring this morning, which is just fine. After the webinar, I have to grab my son, and I'll be gone for about an hour, but then I'll be back. So we'll do a webinar this afternoon as well. We'll do market close again today. It's good to be back on track this week. And then I'll be in chat all day pretty much. So any questions I'll be able to answer there. But for now, really slow. Really, really slow. I really don't see any slam dunk trades. I don't even see any real trades to be had right now, which is fine. So definitely don't be forcing anything. Yeah, Dom, I sent that yesterday afternoon. There's a 24-hour hold, so it should be there this afternoon. The only real play I'm looking at going into, I mean, this morning at all, would be possibly TORC. It gapped up huge this morning on positive phase 2B top-line trial results for Restorbio, their drug. Up to 27, it's now down to the 14s. No real clear levels here. Maybe $12.75 or so, so maybe $13 or so, something like that. If this were to panic to like 13 bucks, I would probably try to grab a couple thousand shares and catch a bounce. You just have to be really careful a chart like this, you know. Just keeps setting new lows for the day, so again, that's a stretch, and that's only because there's not much else to trade. So, I mean, may try to scalp a bounce on this, maybe. Probably not, though, like I said. Actually getting a nice panic on CVSI right now. I am contemplating dip buying this soon. Pavel asked about V-Ray. I've played V-Ray in the past. Strong move today. Yeah, I mean, it's up quite a bit. I don't see any concrete play for me here. Yeah, it's just kind of a tough call for me. Like I said, with these market conditions, the float is a little bit bigger. It's just not in my ballpark as to something I really would trade. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap up this morning. Like I said, still slow. You got to keep that in mind. Still very slow. So that's just the nature of the markets, man. Sometimes these things aren't going to be moving. Sometimes they are. Yeah, I mean, let me see. Any more questions this morning? I know it was a short, kind of boring webinar, but markets are boring right now. So I think I'll start preparing some lessons on some more individual topics for days like today. so that even if markets aren't running, we can still get some good work in. Excuse me. Yeah, what we'll do in the future here is try to narrow risk reward, all that good stuff. Maybe psychology one day. Um, so that's something I'll work on for you guys. And hey, and if you guys have any suggestions, we have a small group, so that's kind of cool. We can be pretty nimble. Um, we can we can kind of cater to exactly what you guys need. All of you are in different spots in your trading careers, and all of you like trading different things. Um, so we can really do some good work with this small group if as long as you guys kind of keep the input going. Yes, it's like a mentor relationship, but I'm also open to suggestion from all of you. Um, it's whatever you guys need. So like as we go, definitely suggestions are welcome if you want to private message me, or if you just want to write it in the group here, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, that'd be cool, Chris. Let me know. That's really cool. Mike said, Roland, if you had a time frame as to what you look for and research throughout the day, that would be awesome. Yeah, for sure. Um, do you mean kind of like just like daily process? Yeah, so we can go over that right now quickly. I mean, daily process is really simple. I'm in front of the computer no later than an hour before market open. Last year, last year I would spend about 2 hours prior to the market open, and I would have my news feed up, and I was watching every single PR that popped in the morning, looking for opportunities. Um, I found that to be hit or miss. The volume's so important. So if something's popping pre-market on news, a couple hours before market open, before most people are in front of their computers, I mean, at times when I would see a great catalyst, it would work. Um, but at other times, even what I deemed to be a great catalyst wouldn't make a stock pop. So it all depends on market conditions, obviously. Um, but I find an hour is good enough now at this point. I also find myself trading way less pre-market. In fact, hardly at all. And that's actually helped my win ratio. I haven't been taking, illiquid pre-market trades. So, those are hit or miss. You never know. So yeah, it's about an hour before market opens. We're in front of the computer. Um, then I'm really, so basically pre-market, I'm looking through my percent gainer scans. I'll go to the percent losers at times just to see what's going on, if something's getting beat up for no reason or for whatever reason it is. Um, just looking for opportunity. Once I've narrowed down the tickers I like going into market open, including going through previous tickers, so we're looking at maybe if there was a supernova last week or days before, we'll kind of go through those. I like to keep them on a watch list. Um, so yeah, so the hour before pre-market is really spent for that purpose alone. Um, any trades I'm looking to take are going to try be the first 2 hours of the day. That's really, really what I'm looking for. After that, I go into a passive mode, which is something I've gotten much better at this year. It took a while to realize I don't have to trade every day. I don't have to trade everything that moves. And I'm going to miss a lot of moves, and that's really no big deal. I'd rather be missing moves, being safe, taking high odds plays, as opposed to just trying to trade just for the hell of it. That's really important not to do that, because then you just take unnecessary losses. So I try to get, if I'm trading market open, it's got to be the first couple hours. Once we get to midday, I've really gotten good at disengaging. So I disengage midday, which my time means like basically 9 a.m. An hour and a half from now, I disengage. I'll try to get lunch. I'll still be watching, but at that point, it's really kind of like just recon, like trying to figure out what is going on into the afternoon if there is an opportunity into power hour. So really my day is divided up into pre-market, market open, midday, power hour, after hours. After hours is when I usually like to create my watch list for the next day. We'll start these webinars a bit earlier when we start them in the mornings and go over my watch list like in detail. I think that'll be very helpful for you guys. Most of my watch lists and plans at this point are in my head, but I'll start using my watch list form again, strictly for educational purposes for you guys. It'll probably help me too. I've gotten pretty good at just kind of keeping my plans in my head and knowing levels and kind of understanding, but we'll get into watch lists and watch list building, because I know some of you need some help with that. So maybe today, kind of like after hours or into close, we'll start doing some watch list stuff. Most of you know how to make a watch list, and we'll kind of do that. If you need help doing that, and if you guys have watch lists that you guys are making and want to send them over to me for my thoughts on like what you're watching and which tickers you're watching, for critique, I will definitely give that to you guys. If you are watching the wrong tickers, then it is taking your attention away from the right things, right? So we'll get into some watch list making. But as far as my day, Mike, it's really simple. It used to be, last year was a lot different. I was in front of the computer 5 to 5 every single day, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is when market closes. 5 a.m. is when I would be in front of my computer, or earlier at times. I credit that to I credit a lot of that screen time to the success that I had. There's no doubt about it. There's no way around it. The only way to be successful here, especially when you're just starting out, is screen time, is time in front of the computer. So like even through slow markets, you have to have the right mind frame, so you don't want to be actively trading too much in slow markets. But watching a slow market and understanding what's going to happen in a market, in these market conditions, is super important. Reason being, because next time that this happens and you see markets like this, you will react accordingly and you won't take dumb losses. I haven't made money the last week and a half, and I've lost $200. So it's not like I've been just getting slaughtered for the last week and a half like most people who are just taking trade after trade and losing and losing and losing and not knowing why. Perspective's super important, and recognizing market conditions is one of the most important things, in my opinion. That's what enables you to have conviction going long. That's what enables you to take more size during better conditions and take better gains when the time's right. Time's not right now, So I'm not pressing hard. When will the time be right? For me, the time won't be right until I see a real good parabolic move, and then another one, and then another one, and then in my head I'm saying, okay, why? What's the pattern? What's the sector? Is this the start of something? And next thing you know, you're getting runners every day again. And when that's the case, I'm ready to roll. For now, it's the short bias is probably going to win, with a lack of volume, and we're almost to the end of July. So I'm kind of thinking maybe August things will pick up. We may have another whole week of this, And that's fine. That's totally fine. But that's also why it's so important to get this and to understand, like, when the markets come back and they're rocking again, you got to take advantage of those times. And that's what gets you through these times, if that makes sense. I mean, last year, these market conditions, they wouldn't have crushed me, but I would have been upset because I love trading. And I like being in trades and taking trades. But I would have taken some unnecessary losses last year, I promise you that. So we'll definitely get into watch list stuff as well. So midday, so like I said, pre-market, we're going through scans. We're trying to make a plan for anything popping up in the morning. Midday, I'm, eating lunch, watching tickers, watching how they consolidate, finding levels, and creating plans in my head for what's going to happen in the afternoon if there's something I do want to trade. Midday, I'm going through filings. Midday, I'm doing things that I can do, whatever I can do to try to get an edge going into the afternoon. That's it. And that should kind of be your focus midday. Where can I get an edge going into the afternoon? What is setting up for a possible overnight going into the afternoon? That kind of thought process is very important. But on days like today and weeks like this week, I'm really disengaged, and that's been key for me. Sizing, all that kind of stuff. I'm much more eager. In these market conditions, I am very much pulling back. I am very much disengaged, and I think that's just so important to understand. So important. Nevi said V-Ray setup looks perfect. Holding VWAP. Did you trade it? I didn't trade VWAP. I didn't trade V-Ray. I kind of explained it earlier. I'm not really planning on trading V-Ray. But that was a pretty sweet breakout today. It made a good move today. And it's hitting 52-week highs and some all-time highs, actually. On my chart. I won't be trading V-Ray. No real rhyme or reason for it other than it's kind of, it feels like a chase to me already. It feels like a definite chase. You had a breakout level here in the 10s. I don't want to chase it in the 12s. It's that simple. That's the only reason. Dom said, did you used to trade from home? Any noticeable difference in getting it office outside the home? So for you, maybe not. You don't have kids. For me, I've got 3 kids at home. Even when I started trading, I was trading from work. And yeah, I mean, for me, I got 3 kids at home. So I've lost money from that several times. Just my kids, they want to come in and play on the computer. The screaming, like, they're the cutest in the world, but yeah, they are constantly bothering me. And when you have like a $30,000, $40,000 or $50,000 position on a low float stock, that's moving at light speed, that is the last thing you need. So for me, yes, huge difference. Not just that, but like, if you're home, at least for me, I'm able to kind of, there are just so many distractions. Um, in my office, I know it's going to be quiet all day. I know all that there is in my office is my trading setup. For now, I'm actually going to start working on the office next week and getting some stuff done here. Um, but yeah, I mean, I got my kids slamming on the keyboard, and my daughter, for some reason, her favorite thing is to crawl up on my desk. She like uses the drawer handles to crawl up, and it's just like I got to keep putting her down, and then she cries because she wants to be on the desk, and it's a mess, bud. So I do find, if there's distraction where you are trading, that is never good. Mike's son cost him 1,500 last month, randomly hitting his keyboard. Yeah, I've had my son once, especially. So I used to use hotkeys a lot. I have a little gamer pad set up with like 50, basically 30 different hotkeys, and I forget what stock it was. It was one of the parabolics, but he came up and slammed on the button and sold all my shares. Right before parabolic, where I would have made something like 10 grand. So Joe asked about BTSC. I actually cut BTSC right off the bat this morning. I think it will make first swing. I didn't have to cut it. I just didn't feel like watching it. Tom said, so just don't have kids. Yeah, 100%, dude. For now. You're young, bro. You're super young. Give it like 10 years, man. Give it 10 years, and then when you do have kids, get an office, or at least make sure you have an office where you can lock the door at your house. Canadian John, I am 32. I'll be 33 in January. Mike said, and soundproof. Soundproof's super important. So that's it for me this morning, guys. I have to run grab my son. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back in about an hour, and I'll be in chat, so we'll chat. I'll be answering questions there today, and then we'll do market close. So right around 1, right around 2 Eastern, we'll pick back up. And hopefully we'll get some good setups going into close. That would be cool. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So I'll chat with you guys in a little bit here. Everyone be safe. Very slow markets. Don't force anything. Just watch. And we'll come up with something for this afternoon, hopefully. So everyone have a good morning. Sorry it's slow, but that is what it is. And it's important. I mean, it's important to get the right mentality in slow markets and in all kinds of markets. So have a good one, everyone. Catch